Good evening. The workshop meeting of Tomball ISD Board of Trustees is now called to order here at 6:51 p.m. Central Time. Today is December 9th, 2024. For the record, a quorum of the board is present. All trustees are in attendance tonight. The meeting is being recorded in accordance with Government Code Section 551.128. And so very quickly, I will turn the meeting over to our superintendent, Dr. Martha Salazar Zamora, to proceed with recognitions.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. President Dr. Pratt, newly elected, and our other board members here tonight, thank you. We are very excited to have recognitions. Ladies, I want to thank you for your patience. We had a lot of activities before, but we are very excited about recognizing. We will start with the Tomball High School volleyball team. Our very own athletic director, Kevin Flanagan, will come up to make some initial introductions. So ladies, you can make your way up here and face the board.
Can I get Coach Lynch and Coach Williams, if y'all don't mind coming up? I'm going to bring both of them up because it's hard to brag on one of them, but I will say these two ladies right here and their programs and the young ladies that we're going to introduce here in just a second have not only won district this year, but we've kind of gone back. Tomball and Tomball Memorial, between the two of them, have been district champions at the freshman, the JV, and the varsity level for 3 straight years, and maybe even further than that, which is very, very impressive. And that goes to the work that these young ladies do, as well as both of these young ladies here as well. So we're going to start off with Coach Jordan Williams, and she's going to introduce Tomball High.
Hello, Dr. Zamora and board members. Thank you for having us this evening. The 2024 season was a great year for our volleyball program. With a total of 5 seniors, 4 juniors, and 5 sophomores, we started off playing some great competition, and during that time, we really came together as a team and learned how to push to finishing games. I'm super proud of this group of exceptional young ladies. They improved tremendously throughout the season. Our overall record was 22-20, with the district record of 12-3, taking 3rd place in district. We played our first playoff match against Cywoods High School at the Berry Center and swept them in 3, claiming the by-district title. I would like to introduce you to Tomball High School by-district champions. Half of my girls had practice tonight and are not here, so I'm introducing the ones who are here. First off, we have junior manager Maddie Kilgore was awarded academic all-district team. Number 2, junior Heidi Haran was awarded first team all-district and academic all-district. Number 3, senior Lauren Shipanowski was awarded to second team all-district, academic all-district, and AVCA Best and Brightest Award, first team. Number 4, junior Cami Prado was awarded academic all-district. Number 11, senior Paige DeBala was awarded academic all-district, AVCA Best and Brightest Award, first team. Number 16, sophomore Georgia Hornis was awarded academic all-district and district 15-6A honorable mention. Number 17, Emery Hornis was awarded academic all-district and district 16-15-6A honorable mention. And number 20, junior Natalie Kettler was awarded academic all-district. Thank you to Mr. Scott and our wonderful assistant principals, Coach Handel, Coach Flynn, for supporting us this season and cheering us every step of the way. And lastly, I'd like my parents to stand up. Yay. We could not do it without you. We appreciate your unwavering support and for always being there for your kids in order to make their high school experience the best it could possibly be. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you all. Thanks.
Thank you, Coach. Great job.
both of these teams also had 100% passing rate through the season and many, many academic accolades as well. So next up is Tomball Memorial and Coach Sydney Lynch, and Tomball Memorial is back-to-back district champions.
Nice.
Thank you, members of the board, for this opportunity to love on my girls and celebrate with them all their accomplishments, both on the court and in the classroom. I'd like to take the opportunity to recognize the ladies standing in front of you, yes, are our two-time back-to-back district champions. Last year we went undefeated. This year we went 15-1. That one bites a little, but overall that's a 29-1 district record. And last year we made school history. And so I feel like we get compared to that a lot in terms of like what we did last year. But we are 6 years in the running in making the playoffs, which is goal number one, right? Anytime we have a varsity team make the playoffs, that's always the goal. And so I'm super proud of the accomplishments that we've made this year, which would lead us to our awards. We're joined here tonight with Sarah Odell. She's your 15-6A district most outstanding outside hitter. We have 5 first team all district recipients: Sydney Hoffman, Amber Craig, Lila Westfall, Neela Harrell, and Sarah Odell. We have 2 second team all district recipients: Camden Chaddock and Lily Rains. We have 2 honorable mention: Lauren Helmer and Jamison Fuller. We have 15 academic all district recipients, which is just about all of them: Lila Westfall, Sydney Hoffman, Amber Craig, Lily Rains, Kira Pierce, Camden Chaddock, Mason Pause, Ariana Williams, Grace Costanza, Sarah Odell, Leslie Ganu, Allie Collier, Neela Harrell, Kylie Rettmeyer, and Jamison Fuller. So they have to have an A average basically throughout the season. We have 4 AVCA Phenom Watch List Award winners: Amber, Kira, Sarah, and Lily. To our seniors, we only have 2 seniors this year, so we're coming back next year super, super strong. But we have 2 AVCA All-American Watch List Award winners. We have 1 AVCA Best and Brightest Award, which is an award you have to win for being good on the court and excellent in the classroom. And we have 2 TGCA All-Stars, one as a participant as well as one as an alternate. And that's never happened in our school history either. We've only had 2 participants in Tomball Memorial's history at all. So for us to have one this year and have an alternate as well is top-notch. Lila Westfall was also TGCA Academic All-State Award winner because she's a super smarty pants. We'll have 13 GHVCA Postseason Academic Team Awards. Just to put it in perspective, our team GPA is a 98.75. So these girls kick a little booty everywhere, and I'm super proud of them. They get the job done for us in practice, in the classroom, outside of the library, or, at elementary schools, opening up school, like little kid doors. They do a great job, and they do it for each other, and I'm super proud of them. Thank you guys, everyone, for supporting us all season long, and come watch the Wildcats next year.
All right. Yes, but a lot of them I don't. Yeah, congratulations. 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 Great job, Coach. Congrats.
What about your which classification? Junior. Okay. And you're? Okay, good job. Coach.
We have no public comment on agenda items this evening, so President Pratt, if you don't mind, I'll go on over and continue with the review of the business agenda for December 10th, 2024.
Let's go.
Okay, all right, let's do this. Consent agenda, we have a few donations. Item E is accept a donation in the amount of $12,000 from Timber Creek Elementary PTO to, of course, Timber Creek Elementary School. The next item is to accept a donation in the amount of $15,000 from Decker Prairie Elementary PTO to Decker Prairie. And the final donation for the evening, tomorrow evening, is to accept a donation in the amount of $60,000 from Houston Methodist Hospital to Tomball Athletic Department. So we're always very grateful for the donations and the board's willingness to accept those.
If I could interrupt you.
Yes.
So this workshop, our single purpose, and one is to understand what these agenda items are, but this is our opportunity to ask the superintendent questions. So if there are items on the consent agenda, and typically when the consent agenda is presented in the regular workshop tomorrow, or board meeting tomorrow, we vote on the full body of the consent agenda, but then we'll vote separately and independently on each considered agenda item. So the consent is packaged as one, and so if there are questions on any item in the consent, now is the time to ask the superintendent. And in the event that you ask a question that the superintendent might not have the answer to, or that requires follow-up, typically from the conclusion of this meeting to sometime probably mid-afternoon tomorrow, the superintendent typically provides a response in an email, or if required, a phone call. And so we'll have another moment tomorrow night in the regular meeting to ask a question of the superintendent if anything requires clarity, but this is our time now. Thank you.
The next two items are policy revisions. They're brief, and I want to thank the policy committee for working with Karen Graves as they do whenever we have policy adjustments. Under the considered agenda, moving on, the first four items are similar. They are to appoint two members of the Tomball ISD School Board to serve on various committees. First being the Audit Committee, second, the Policy Committee, third, the Budget Committee, and then finally, and very important, our Advocacy Committee. All right, then we're asking for, as we continue this conversation together, approval of the 2025 local calendar for purposes of the Texas Public Information Act, which we do annually. The next item is to approve a resolution casting Tomball ISD's vote to appoint directors to the Harris Central Appraisal District's Board of Directors.
That's Harris County, right?
Harris County.
hold on.
Yeah, I hesitated thinking Harris.
Harris County.
They changed their
Did
name.
they change it?
Is it?
Okay.
They're actually now called
So it is
Harris
Central.
It is?
We were correct and didn't even know it. Okay, very good.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes,
Dr.
sir. Ma'am.
I would like to bring up another candidate. I looked over, right now we have Ms. Dixon as our candidate, and I would like to bring another candidate, Mr. Mike Sullivan, for all of our 65 votes or a portion of them. I don't know if anyone else knows Mike Sullivan, but I can read over. He was an Tomball ISD trustee, Houston City Council member, Harris County tax assessor. He presently is a trustee for Lone Star College, and I think he would be a good candidate. I don't know if anyone else has any history on Mike Sullivan that they want to bring up.
I spoke to Kyle Scott, who is currently on the appraisal district, and a friend of mine who I trust his recommendation of, and he recommended Mr. Sullivan. So I too would like to consider him for our votes or a portion of our votes.
So Mr. Sutherland has been on the board for some time, and he's done a very good job, although since about April or so, he's either, for one reason or another, he's not been attending the meetings. But he is another board member, not a school board member, but in the college. So he's on there now, and if we make a change, I would say that we give 30, we got 65, I would say that we would offer 25 for him and the rest for Martina, since she is a school board trustee.
Do we know if Tomball ISD backed her for her position? Or is that something we could look into?
I believe they have. She currently has about 560 votes, and I think the threshold is 640.
Okay, since Mike Sullivan was also a school board trustee, not currently, but in 2005 to 2008, do you think maybe we could even split the votes between the two of them? Or does anyone else have any thoughts or input on that?
So you're thinking you want to split them like 50/50? I think Mark offered, what, 30? You said 25? And then 40? But you're thinking 50/50, is that what you're saying?
I guess since we have 65, one person would have to be one vote less, but something closer to that.
I haven't checked my email since about 3 o'clock today. Were you able to share what Mr. Sullivan sent to you?
I didn't. I can send it out. It just has some of his credentials and some
Yeah,
things that he's
I'd like to
done.
just get to know him a little bit better. So
Sure.
if you could send it to Dr. Z and
Absolutely.
then send
If
it out.
you'll send it, we'll get it
Yeah.
to everybody.
Okay. So the resolution as it's written right now is in support of Ms. Dixon. Certainly, if there was an inclination to make an amendment to that motion tomorrow, we could certainly pick it up at that point. I know I would like to do my research on Mr. Sullivan. I don't have an opinion on Ms. Dixon, so I'm looking for all the input I can get, so,
Sure, I'll share that email.
okay.
Hey, so question, Mr. President, and maybe you need to get legal counsel's input. This has approved resolution casting the votes. Would we have to do an amendment if we change it from its current form from the floor? Or can since it's already, the motion is for the resolution, would we be able to have a discussion and change it from there?
I was under the impression that a motion would be made, and so I didn't consider the resolution, so maybe we ask our counsel, do we need, how should the motion be made in terms of, we have a motion to vote tomorrow night, but the actual agenda item is written specific to the resolution, so how do we manage an adjustment? Are we amending the resolution, or are we going to amend the motion, or both?
I believe we would amend the resolution ahead of time, and
Okay.
then you would vote on the amended resolution, but
Okay,
you wouldn't necessarily vote to amend the resolution. It would be to adopt the resolution as amended.
okay. So tomorrow night, are we going to have to do anything here at the dais in regard to the resolution? Or should we adjust the resolution for flexibility so it's not so specific to Ms. Dixon?
We have to cast the votes. The resolution has to say how many votes per person.
Okay.
So we would have
As
to
it's
do that
written,
ahead of
it's
time.
65 for one person. And so I'm hearing a bit of an inclination to adjust that. So between now and tomorrow, can we work together to adjust the resolution?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. John, does that hit the mark? Okay.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that. Moving on to item G, approve and ratify the superintendent's approval of addenda to the existing entry shield and tips number listed service contract for the purchase and installation of impact-resistant film and the removal of window tint at the cost of $34,415.02, and approve additional expenses for window repair as needed, not to exceed $200,000. I want to remind the board that this is all funded by the Safety and Facilities Enhancement Grant Cycle, SAFE, and a big thank you to Dr. G and the team. They continue to work towards these grants so that we can have this for safety and not at district or taxpayer expense. Item H is to approve the release of $1,050,000 from committed funds to initiate Phase 1, very exciting, of Exceeding Excellence 2030. Big thank you to our very own Dr. Amy Schindewolf, Chief of Staff, and the entire team that has worked on this strategic plan. The existing board worked very closely with administration, and we look forward to new board members learning more about our guiding, really, for me, our roadmap, our strategic plan. thank you for that.
Is this the time where I can bring up a question about this item specifically?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So I had asked the question before about Stop Finder, which is to be replacing Smart Tag. Help me understand how that is a strategic plan, because to me, we already have done the hardware, or are we having to buy new hardware?
We are
To me,
having-
it
they are-
seems
they're
like it'd be
actually-
operational.
So they're actually going to, we're going towards a new, what they consider to be an upgraded system. It is at a large expense, and so therefore we put it into strategic planning because it is a more robust system and way in which initially, I remember the board meeting when it was first approved, and there was a lot of concern and some angst about it. And now I think families are so used to it, right? There's an expectation that they want to know where the children are. And so it was written into the strategic plan. But remember, the plan it's a good point, but it's not just an academic plan or a technology plan or a human capital, human talent plan. It's robust. And so student safety is, I believe, where this one falls. And it's a part of that bubbled to the top when we had all of our conversations about expenditures.
Right, I understand implementing a new large system like that would be part of a strategic plan previously, but now that we have it, it seems like it would be operational going forward. So maybe the expense is much smaller switching to this new service, or?
So there are many times, I'll use an example in curriculum and instruction, where when you think of, I can go back to the 2017 strategic plan, being a part of that, where we enhanced it the next time we had a strategic plan. A strategic plan does not need to be new and innovative for the very first time. It can be a continual, it can be new, and many times it is, but many times it's a new iteration or something that we've always done but want to continue to fund. For example, Great Expectations. That's a perfect example of the fact that it is not new. We will continue, have continued, but we are asking for a portion of that to be funded through the strategic plan. So it's a very broad, I would say, new, existing, pretty much it's a catch-all when you think of where we're moving as a district. And so when this was approved in prior meetings, it was as a new program, same concept, but it has more features. Did that answer your question? I said a lot. Thank you. Any other items on H? Moving on to I, approve the interlocal agreement between Tomball ISD and Harris County ESD 3 for medical standby coverage at events at the Tomball ISD Stadium and Event Center. And just as a reminder, this is continued service that we've had, but it was Rose Hill Fire Department, and they now have a new name. I think they were taken over. Yes. Basically. Okay, very good. J is to approve a $5,000 additional administrative fee amendment to the School Purchasing Alliance interlocal agreement using child nutrition funds. There was a long email thread that I asked for you to I didn't want to summarize it because there was a lot of good information in there from Dr. Gutierrez, from Whitney, with questions, and thank you, Mark, for starting that. It was to have been attached, and it wasn't, and so I want to make sure that you understand this is something that Whitney is asking for. And just for the new board members, as you learn a lot more about school funding and budgets, you'll understand that child nutrition has a separate pocket, let's say, of dollars, and so a separate budget in its entirety, and Zach will explain all that to you in detail in the future. All right, the next item is K, to approve the construction budget of $19,870,984 and an overall budget of $32 million, and we do believe it will come in under, but that's the high end of that, for the construction of the 5th grade addition at Creekside Park Junior High using Bonds 2021 funds. Item L, approve the recommendation to select Texas Arcadis as the architect for the architectural barn for the Tomball West High School facility with architectural fees of $6.75 of construction costs plus a reimbursables budget of $45,000 using Bond 2021 funds. M, approve the recommendation to select Texas Arcadis as the architect for the renovation of building number 4 within the Tomball Innovation Center with architectural fees of 7% of construction cost plus a reimbursable budget of $5,000 using Bond 2021. And is to approve the recommendation to select FMG Construction LLC for the addition of sidewalks at the Early Excellence Academy and Staff Development Center for Phase 1 of this budget, or project rather, at $120,809.88, including a $50,000 contingency budget, purchasing through cooperative contract choice partners listed there using Bond 2021 funds. And we've discussed this for some time. I want to thank the City of Tomball for working with us and understanding that initially, for a timely matter, we wanted to open school and get our youngest of learners in there. And the city didn't have to, but they worked with us as great partners, as we often see in Tomball, to say, we will allow you to do this when it's the right time, when it's the right, and this is the right time. We need to get this done and do what we told them that we would. The last item, and this is more for our newly elected members, this is something that unfortunately comes more often than anybody wants. It always brings me angst, because basically, you'll hear me say this often, every time actually this comes up. When an individual signs a contract with us, it's an employment contract, and they are stating for 1 year they will work with us and serve our students, right? It's not just the employment, but it's a service to our students. We make a commitment to them, but they sign and make a commitment to us. And when they walk away, it puts us in a very difficult situation, because then our students don't have that certificated person in the classroom until we can fill that position. Fortunately, we're able to. We have an incredible human talent department that does that, but nevertheless, it does come at a hardship. This individual, Kimberly Dillow, has asked to be released and has left. She has actually left education, and that happens from time to time. It is recommended that the Board of Education render a finding under Texas Administrative Code, section listed, that good cause did not exist as required by Texas Education Code's sections listed. And I just want you to understand that this is a requirement. We honor that requirement by the Texas Education Agency, and we don't waver regardless of the circumstances, unless, of course, it's illness, they're relocating, there are certain things in which. But if you're wanting to go to another district or deciding to leave the profession, this would sanction your certification for 1 year. They're not allowed to go and teach in another area, in another district. Okay?
So Dr. Z, just to elaborate a little bit more, because we don't like these kind of agenda items.
No, we don't.
For Jennifer, Coco, and Amanda, Texas Education Code that's listed here talks about the contract abandonment cases, and to the point that Dr. Z made, what we as board members look for to either support the recommendation or not, and we have pretty tight parameters. The first of which is, does the individual who abandoned their contract have a serious illness or health condition? Did they relocate to a new city as a result of a change in their spouse, employer, or partner who resides with the educator? Was there significant change in the educator's family needs that require the educator to relocate or devote more time than allowed by current employment? And then the fourth condition, educator's reasonable belief that the educator had written permission from the school district administration to resign. And so based upon the evidence that this, and the recommendation that the superintendent has made, I personally could not find where this particular person met any of those four. So for me, I always go back to the Texas Education Code. So feel free to follow up with the superintendent on any of the specific personnel issues.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Pratt. And yes, we do take it very seriously, and the department works with each individual to see if there's anything, any loophole, something we can find to help them. But if not, then we bring this to you. That concludes the agenda for tomorrow evening. I turn the meeting back over to the president.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry, I wanted to ask a couple of questions about the policies on the consent agenda. Is this the proper time to ask those?
Absolutely.
Okay. There wasn't really a pause before where I could ask
Okay,
them.
let's go. What item, and then please help us.
So in the consent agenda, item H and I, the two policy changes. I just had a couple of quick questions about those. I wanted to understand in the dual language program, It looks to me that we are changing the, removing priority admission for students who live in the dual language zoned campus. And I want to understand why that is being done.
Okay. Dr. Webb, would you like to explain that conversation?
Our lottery for two-way dual language is a part of Phase 2. To date, we have never accessed Phase 2 of the admission systems for two-way dual language. So if we have 50 students or 50 families, approximately, of native English speakers that are interested in two-way dual language and they enroll, and that is called Phase 1. Phase 2 is only used if we don't have the initial 50 students. So yes, it is a change. It is saying that is evenly weighted throughout the district from giving weight to students in Rose Hill. However, we never have enacted a Phase 2 lottery because we've hit that 50 student cap with Phase 1, which is, there's a deadline. It's around, April 1st. And then at that deadline, how many families have signed up? If it's 50, then those are the 50 that get in, providing they meet all the requirements and they commit. So in the policy, that is Phase 2.
So you're saying, right, as of now, so far, there are no families who live in the Rose Hill zone and wanted to enroll their students and met all the deadlines and requirements and didn't make it in the lottery. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. If they were a Rose Hill family and they applied and they met the deadline, then they were in.
Okay.
We have not had any challenges in not meeting those initial 50 seats in Phase 1 in the last 5 years. That policy is in effect should we ever not have the number of students to meet the criteria for Phase 1.
Thank
We
you,
haven't-
Dr. Webb.
I wonder why we would need the change then. To me, I think about busing efficiencies. This is a situation that could come as the program grows in popularity. And the program has taken such a large majority chunk of the school. I wonder why we wouldn't want to continue, just leave it how it is, and let the students who live in Rose Hill Zone and can be bused, like I said, busing efficiencies in a school that's already has a lot of extra car traffic, just the way the design is, of why we wouldn't just leave it how it is to allow Rose Hill zoned students to have priority.
Or let him go.
Yeah, I don't see an issue with one two-way dual language campus and leaving it as it is, but very shortly, we will have to open up two two-way dual language campuses, and then it becomes more complex if we're waiting students in our projections of those new students, in the projections of the new schools. Of course, we don't want to hold any Rose Hill student out, and we haven't to date, but I think this policy is written because in a very short amount of time, we will have to discuss a third dual language program, whether it's one-way or two-way, or considerations that or decisions that we have to make.
Thank you, Dr. Webb.
Okay, and the other policy question was on the next policy, the educational philosophy policy. It looks like we're changing the mission statement of the district. That to me seems like a big thing. I don't know if there
It
are
is.
committee meetings where I could go back and watch the discussion on that specifically.
That was part of the strategic plan.
Right.
We had, I know I sent you earlier today, the number 21 members of the staff, of the community, of administration, and members of the board that were part of that and participated. That was not videotaped, though, but it was, so I don't know if you could go back and watch it, obviously.
So I was thinking of the zoning committee meetings that were videotaped, so I thought maybe there were videos that existed.
No.
So there were one parent representative from each campus, but
Yes,
they
ma'am.
were hand-selected by the principal.
Yes, ma'am. As we have done standardly for several years since
When was the
2017.
last time we changed the mission statement of the district? Does anyone?
Actually, when it was adopted, the one that currently we have was about 2017?
Well, I believe they've been in connection with the strategic plans. So we updated it in
Okay.
connection with the
So
strategic plan
2017, and then the next one, and then this one.
Right.
Okay.
And that actually wasn't just for everyone's knowledge, that wasn't the idea, and we didn't expect to spend as much time. But it kind of bubbled to the top, and there were enough people that felt we needed to wordsmith it and change it. They're not robust changes, but I think they're significant, and we obviously, if we're going to ask people to come, we want to listen to their voice, and we did, and so those changes were made based on the recommendations of that committee, and they stand.
So this is proposed by that committee of 20 parents plus
It was
staff.
part of that strategic plan, yes, ma'am, and
But
voted on.
ultimately, we vote to adopt it or not. I bring it up because I really liked the mission statement that we had before. And I think most parents would agree that they love it. And it seems we're removing the word educate. So it was Tomball ISD educates students to become responsible, productive citizens. And I love that statement. And it seems like we're completely changing that now to actually remove the word educate. So as a school district, I just like the previous mission statement. I don't quite understand it, but if anyone wants to give more color to why these particular words were changed, to remove the word educate, remove the word responsible and productive, I would like to hear that.
Thank you for your comments.
I think, Michael, you may want to also indicate that the board voted to accept those as part of the strategic plan.
So what this step is really having the policy catch up to a previous board vote.
Correct.
So we'd have to look at when we voted, but within the last, 2 or 3 months?
Yeah, it's been probably a few board meetings ago. We can go back and check that, though.
Yeah.
So the board adopted it? Okay, so the committee developed it, and then when it came in as part of Exceeding Excellence 2030, it was then the board voted to accept Exceeding Excellence 2030, which includes the mission, vision, beliefs. And so that all took board action about 2-3 months ago. So it was adopted at that point. And like Michael said, this is just the policy getting updated to reflect what's already been approved by the board 2 or 3 months ago.
And I believe we voted on that in the October meeting.
Was it
because
October?
The November meeting was when we read
wasn't
the
November.
first, the new
Okay.
mission statement.
You're right.
Okay.
I think you're right.
I think we commented, that's the first time that
Yeah.
we've
Yeah.
used the new mission statement. As far as the notes and all that, you have that.
We do. I do not believe we recorded,
No,
but
but you have
we
the-
would
you
have
have the-
notes
the
of-
data that
Yeah.
got to
There
it.
really was a lot of discussion, which we didn't expect again. It took a little more time, but it was important to the community, and we listened to our community.
Yeah, so just to
Well, in
answer the.
that committee, it went back and forth several
they did.
times for several
They
meetings
did.
before we even decided on that wording of the mission
And
statement.
so that mission statement that was changed, and looking back, we did not change it in 2020.
No.
So.
It was back from
7
2017.
years, so it got a refresh.
So was the actual change, the fact that we're changing the mission statement of the district, has that been discussed publicly up here?
Yes, in October.
And the wordsmithing of it and the words of it?
The committee meeting did all of that good work, and then we were presented what the committee shared. We had conversations, and we voted on it in October.
I believe, yeah.
I think you're right.
Jennifer, any other questions on the 2 policy items? No? Okay, cool. Any other questions for Dr. Z before we move forward? Okay, tonight we will, so thank you for the review of the agenda. Tonight we have no closed session. And so now we'll move to the board comments portion of our meeting. And just please remember that comments are, high level, encouraging, congratulatory, consistent with, the Texas Open Meetings Act. So do any board members at this time have any comments?
So I'll start. First of all, thank you, Mr. McStravick, for your
Yes.
service as president the previous year. Great job, as always. Thank you so much for that. And welcome, Dr. Pratt, as
Thank you, sir.
president.
Appreciate you.
And it's the holiday season, so everyone, as the holidays come up, think about the purpose of them and also have fun and be safe and have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Mark. Any other?
I
Tina?
just want to thank the board for allowing me to go to Austin last week and interview for the TASB director position. I unfortunately did not get it, but it was a great experience. Lots of fun. It went to 4 rounds and they had a tough decision. So, and y'all have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And enjoy your big break.
Thank you, Tina. Coco, I think you were next.
Well, I want to thank the board. And I look forward to working with you all, being a part of this team and making Tomball even greater. And Merry Christmas to you all. Enjoy.
Thank you. Jennifer, I think you were,
Yeah. I'll thank you for everyone that's here tonight. As I look at all the faces that I recognize, a lot of gratitude for all of you and your support. I would encourage everyone to attend at least one musical performance this week or next week for Christmas music. I know my daughter's playing Thursday night at Tomball High School, so the Tomball Junior High kids are playing Friday night. I think Grand Lakes Junior High is playing Thursday night. I want to know about all the performances. I need to get on all of the news lists.
You'll get a list.
We'll get them all. You can have something every evening.
Okay.
Our first mariachi performance for the district is Wednesday evening at 5:30 at Tomball High School.
Okay, there you go. And a Merry Christmas as well.
Thank you, Jennifer. Amanda?
I just want to say Merry Christmas. I know y'all want to listen to some more comments, but I won't keep y'all. But I'm excited to be up here and serve alongside you guys. And I'll probably see a lot of you before Christmas, but if I don't, then I hope y'all have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. John?
All right, I'll chime in real quick. So just welcome to the new board members. Look forward to moving forward. And Merry Christmas to everybody here. Have a great break. 2 more weeks, I guess, and then we go forward. But thank you, everyone, and appreciate the little gifts we have back here. The gift basket.
Santa came early.
So it was that looks great, and so does the jacket that Tina is modeling. So love it.
Black and gold.
All right.
Getting ready for West.
So Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, John. I would offer my congratulations as well. Look forward to working with you, Jennifer, Coco, and Amanda. Excited you guys are here and moving forward. John, I would like to thank you for your year of service. As I reflect on this past year, you kept us very organized, and I really appreciated your leadership for the advocacy effort that has gone under your tenure, your leadership, and I'll do my best to roll that into 2025 and need your coaching as we go. But thank you for your service. Thank you for a great year. I would be remiss if I did not say something about John Neubauer. As you walk into this building, you see his name on the front of the building. You see his very large picture in the foyer. You see his picture over here on the wall. For those that are not aware, John passed away recently, surrounded by absolutely family. And during the visitation and the funeral, it was a massive outpouring of community support. John served 46 years, 46 years in Tomball ISD. And I had the privilege, along with Mark and John, to serve alongside John here. John was very proud to open this building. And if you haven't paid attention to some of the features walking in this building, you'll notice some of the hardwood floor. You'll notice the clocks. You'll notice pieces from the original Cherry Street building built in the 1930s. The boardroom has pieces of the chalk boards. Some of the brick is here. So all of those things remind me of John Neubauer. And so I just wanted to pause and ask you to remember John. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
May I say something?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you for recognizing a former superintendent who I know was so instrumental in the foundation of this district. It is not easy being a school board member, and I know that each of you had to think about why you wanted to run. Those of you that have heard me ask what is your why, Those of you that are new, I will ask you, what is your why? But I want to thank our president because I know his why. He is a product of this district. He believes in this district. He loves this district, and he supports everything about this district. I appreciate you immensely. I thank you. And Dr. Pratt, my former COVID president, I told him, hey, we've been through COVID.
We will not have any of that drama.
No, no, we've done that. Check that box. I look forward to the year with our newly elected individuals, board members that will serve, and of course, our incredible board members that will continue. Thank you for your willingness to serve for all the right reasons for the students of this district. Your support does not go unnoticed, and a district cannot move forward without the support of the team of 8. Thank you.
Thank you, Martha.
Thank you.
Okay, if no other board members have any comments at this time, I will seek a motion for adjournment.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Lewandowski, seconded by Mr. McStravick. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Meeting is adjourned at 7:38.